This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Travelling TARDIS.
Hello, ho, ho, fellow Whovians, and welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I am your host, Dave. How's it going out there? It is almost American Thanksgiving, or as our guest today, and I would call it Thursday. But it's time to start doing some holiday stuff. We got the new theme music with some little, holiday vibes, some new pictures. It's great. I'm excited. When am I not excited? But I'm excited. Simon Fisher-Becker is back on the show. You saw him in that video, in fact, with his little Santa hat on. It was great. A wonderful performer, author, everything. Wonderful human being. And we're going to be talking about his new book, Vlogging a Dead Horse. And I'm not here alone, of course. We've got a few other people that are going to be chatting with Simon, starting with the wonderful Michelle. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Excellent. You excited?
I am.
Excellent.
You guys saw me slightly geek out in the green room, so yeah.
Exactly. And of course, we've got Gadget.
Hey guys, what's
Hey.
up?
Everything is continuing to go as
Hopefully planned, yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
And then, of course, we have our wonderful showrunner, producer, founder, whatever else, Christian. Hi, Christian.
I've noticed this for quite some time that I've just not been paying attention. But Facebook, every time we go live during the broadcast, you can support my page by sending stars, a digital gift that helps me earn money. So I'm just plugging that.
Christian wasn't paying
Those
attention.
of you folks who are over on
Shocking.
the Facebook page, just
I didn't think we reached the goal. Well, I forgot we did reach the goal that we could get those and everything.
Send this man money.
yes.
That way we can come to a convention near you.
Hopefully.
Exactly.
So,
Got a lot of highs from the folks.
without further ado, because we need all the time we can get, because this man can talk, and it will be a wonderful conversation. The one, the only, Simon Fisher-Becker. Welcome, good sir. Welcome back.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be back. I'm sorry it's been such a long time since I was last on, but I'm very much looking forward to this evening as it is. I mean, it's now just coming up to 11:10 in the evening for me. So
Yep.
I'll try and keep my eyelids open.
It's almost evening for me. I mean, it's almost dark. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
I have no light outside, and it's 6:09.
I'm sitting here happily with a delicious coffee. I'm loving it. I've got all sorts of tasty cakes, Simon.
Yes. Anyway, cheers, everybody. This is sorry. It's just water for me.
It's got to be some good eggnog.
I wish we could get a brand deal for that.
The only time I can have eggnog is around this time, so I'm taking full advantage of the situation.
No, Tom, no quotation marks. It's actual coffee. I have a gig down the street at the theater, so I'm at Zainab's Coffee House in Red Deer here. I love these guys. It is a fabulous spot. I'm gonna pop this over. Oh, it's actual coffee. If I pop this over here, you can even see us up over on the screen there. They put us up on the big screen with a little bit of a delay. Oh, is it that Skippy? Oh, man.
Well, we got the 5-second delay. You know that.
Yeah. But it seems to have frozen a bit, too. And we're just going to leave this and keep with the Inception for a second.
Is that thing that's happening
I'm
again?
totally leaving this for the Inception moment. Sorry. Keep going.
I feel like a Russian doll.
Time vortex.
While it does that, I do want to quickly point out, if you are in Central Alberta, they are running a fundraiser till the end of the year, selling some of the most delicious samosas I have ever had. I kid you not. Raising funds for United Way Central Alberta. So please, if you are in the Central Alberta area, come out, order up some delicious samosas for all your holiday parties. And we're still. Is it
you shaking or is it?
That's me. I think that's me shaking. I think it's the camera.
They're just talking
I'm
about
zoomed up. I'm zoomed super far into the other end of the universe. There we go. It'll shake less now that I'm not zooming my camera over to the other side. But yes, it is just coffee and a cupcake.
All lies.
All lies. All lies.
All lies. Well, since
not moonshine.
Since we're already over there, let me go ahead and throw the birthdays in, because we
please.
One of the 5 of us recently had a birthday. If anybody's been reading the chats out there. So, without further ado, November 14th was Paul McGann's birthday. So happy birthday, Paul McGann. On November the 23rd, I actually, I'm going to use this picture as a double. Also November 23rd, Doctor Who had his 61st birthday. So happy birthday, Doctor Who, out there. He also celebrates a birthday with the master, or the mistress, Michelle Gomez. almost said Michelle Gonzalez. I don't know anybody. Anyway, the following day on the 24th is Denise Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
And without further ado, yesterday. Booyah!
Oh my lord!
Yep.
What
We
do
have
I
a better
Wait a
photo
minute,
than
now
that,
this is
Christian.
appropriate.
Oh my goodness.
Simon! Happy birthday, Simon.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great. So I'm 365 days away from becoming a Beatles song.
Okay.
Yeah.
You changed your name to Eleanor Rigby? What? Why?
Yeah. So
All
will
right.
you still love me when I'm 64?
Aw.
Nah,
Nah, you don't look a day.
not a day over 70.
No.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow,
So,
what a way to
Okay.
start off
Well,
for a special guest.
we were off to a
I
good
will- I
start.
will-
I
I'll
like
come visit
sharing
you
my
in
birthday
in
month
person.
with Simon. I like sharing it. We're
Yes.
both November.
So are we both saggy hairy asses?
Scorpio.
Yeah.
Opposite ends. Yep.
You're Scorpio. Oh, you're the one with the sting in the tail.
Yes, that they forget about back there. I have the claws and they forget about the tail. You're on the cusp. Yep.
I'm the cusp on the other end.
Yeah.
Oh no.
In fact, I've seen me listed as Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Michelle,
I'm
what are you?
Capricorn, but
I'm Gemini.
Yeah.
every now and then I have seen it the 22nd of December labeled on the Sagittarius side.
Mm.
Who's your zodiac?
So,
Me?
No, Michelle.
Oh,
I'm
Michelle.
Gemini.
Gemini.
Oh, that explains it.
June 10th. I'm very Gemini.
That explains it. Now it makes sense.
June the 10th, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Tony, my husband, he's June the 11th.
Oh, so we're almost birthday twinsies.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, you're
Oh.
family. Strawberry's family.
No bourbon, Dave. No bourbon.
No bourbon. I have to work after. I've got another gig at the theater.
I hear your speeching slurring just like mine.
That is
No, that's
just
Christian
the
Nellis,
internet connection.
The computer.
But we have more important things than my bourbon or lack thereof. I've got some books here, but I only have 3 books here.
I know.
Why do I feel like I'm missing something? I don't know. I've got my Dalek has a puncture. My Dalek has another puncture, and let Zygons be Zygons. Wait, isn't that all of the 3 books? Is there another book that I should have?
Maybe.
But
That one.
walking a dead horse, Simon. Oh, what's that? We've got a Simon. We got to get it. There we go. Look at
There
that.
we go.
There it is.
But it doesn't match. It's not going to match.
It won't matter.
It doesn't
This
fit.
is a
That's okay.
special book.
He wanted to be different.
Yes. I was going to try and sort of promote it as the 4th in the trilogy, but it is a slightly different book, so it didn't quite work. But vlogging a dead horse, in simple terms, many of you watch my videos that are my vlogs that I do most months, and I found over a period of time a lot of people are asking me more questions, and not necessarily about Doctor Who or Harry Potter, but they asked me questions about all sorts of things, including having help with things. So that was nice. And then I found, particularly in America, school teachers were asking me if I could put some of the vlogs in book form.
Mhm.
I thought, how crazy. But I had a thought about it. So vlogging a dead horse has a sample of the most popular vlogs I've done. So it's a sort of transcript of them, followed by a little passage about what was going on at the time that each of the vlogs was recorded. And it covers everything, everything from silly incidences like furniture not being able to get through the doorway because the doorway wasn't measured properly, ambulances that were replaced and turned out to be too small, some things about the monarchy, some slightly political, but most of it is offering suggestions and help for people all in all sorts of pickle. And so that's the book. I called it Vlogging a Dead Horse because when I first started doing my vlogs, one or two people thought that they could poke fun at me. And they said, if you think you're going to be an influencer, you're flogging a dead horse. So I thought I'd get my own back. So that's where, and as you know, I do like a play on words. So hence flogging a dead horse.
There we go. And there's the Amazon link for the book up on the screen right now, and it will be in the comments section as well. So you can click that. Makes for a great Christmas present as we are getting to that time of year.
Yes, and also the audiobook version is available, and that you should be able to get it by going to Audible. But
Excellent.
I think there's links to it also via Amazon and I think iTunes. So good luck with hunting that down.
It looks like you already have a review from Balti.
Oh.
From the No Name Game. Vlogging a Dead Horse is such an amazing read. Most excellent forward.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course, because I think Balti did it.
Okay. All right. Well,
there's a nice plug.
That makes total sense.
Bless him. He did a very good forward indeed. And I'm very chuffed with it. So
Simon,
if anybody wants any signed copies, please contact me. You can either contact me via Facebook or sales at Fisher-Becker.com from my website, which is Fisher-Becker.com.
So Simon, what differentiates this book from your first three? Of course, we want everybody to get all four books.
All right, okay. Well, the first three came about because people started asking me if I'd got an autobiography, and of course, at that time when I first started out, I thought, "Oh crikey, who would want to read something about me?" So I wasn't too sure at first what to do. I started doing the panels at conventions. And once or twice I turned up and the invigilator didn't turn up. So I was sort of pushed on the stage and said, get on with it as best you can. So I ended up doing effectively like a one-man show. So I put together a PowerPoint presentation so that if I didn't have somebody interviewing me, then I would use the PowerPoint presentation as a nudge as to what topic to go on to next.
Right.
And as to the title of the first book, I was at a convention where there was a competition for those who make their own Daleks. And part of the competition was they had to do some circuit around the arena where we were. And I came across a young girl crying in a corner. And when I asked her what her problem was, she sort of said, "My Dalek's got a puncture." So although I felt sympathy for her, a little light bulb went on. Bing! That will be my title of my autobiography. And instead of making it a full autobiography, I thought I would put in autobiographical anecdotes and also some tips to help people and answer some of the questions. Because as you guys know, when you work at conventions, it soon dawns on you that you're being asked the same question over and over and over again. Right. So I thought I would, and that's how I started doing the vlogs. Was I thought, well, I'll use the vlog to answer the most common questions. So that's it. So my Dalek has a puncture really sort of tells my story with anecdotes up to the point I'm offered Dorium in Doctor Who. And then my Dalek has another puncture, is anecdotes and things of how things have changed for me since my association with Doctor Who. And one of the other, what would I say, developments from it is that I sort of become an agony uncle, and so I answer and I help questions. And so I do find now that I've got older, I do say to people, things will work themselves out, and just let bygones be bygones. And so with my play of words, that's how you got let Zygons be Zygons. So that's how the trilogy came about. And they've been very popular. I'm very pleased. Yeah.
And there's audio versions of these as well. If you're the type who needs
versions available. If people have problems getting them, again, contact me via Facebook or via my web page, and I'll see if I can sort things out for you.
That's right there at the bottom, Fisher-Becker.com.
Yeah.
I'm on the site now. It looks good.
Okay, this is an interesting photo in Let Zygons Be Zygons.
What's that?
Oh.
Oh God! Why?
How did that get there?
Oh, interesting.
Personally, I like this set of these photos a little bit better.
Yes.
Yeah. I have to say, it was in the early days of me when I first started traveling and going to the different conventions. It was very much a learning curve because we don't get a handbook to tell you what to expect or what to talk about and things like that. And of course, the first thing I learned very quickly is sci-fi fans in particular are wonderful, very, very friendly people. Some can be a bit nervous, and I think it was the early days for the traveling TARDIS, and Christian asked me, if I would come on the show, and so I was chuffed to come on the show, and I like to think that I've made good friends with people of the show, and it's yet another experience. I would never, you see, my English teacher will be spinning in her grave the idea that I'm a published author.
A lot of English teachers would do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's just the wonderful, and it's not just with Doctor Who, but I know a lot of actors who are associated with other programs or films that they find there are all sorts of outlets to earn a little bit of extra money or just broaden your experiences. And it's wonderful.
Which picture you're asking, Jim? Was
I was about to say thing. Which one was definitely me? I will confess that. If you see that Photoshop, it's really on my personal page too. I took the photo. I thought it looked good, but if you look deep into my eyes, they're all squinty out.
No, worry not. It's a very good and effective, and so that's why I felt that the traveling charges should have a mention in the book.
I appreciate that, Simon. We appreciate that.
Because I really genuinely do appreciate the hard work that everybody's gone into and it's such a successful show now. And I'm very pleased and chuffed for you, but also I am a little tickled that I was one of the first guests on.
Yes.
So, because I must admit, I've been very lucky, not just with my acting work, but other jobs I've had. I've always been in a position where I'm working for a company that is doing something for the first time, and so I do think of myself sometimes as a pioneer. Yeah, and I do know how hard things are, and when I do feel sorry for some drama students who leave college now, and they're lost. It's as if they're spat out, and they haven't actually been taught how to get things going, and. If that is true, if the colleges having taken their money, explained clearly that as a performer, you are a business and you have to think in business ways. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely understand. When COVID came up, my entire income stream stopped. And although here in the UK, self-employed people were offered help during COVID, I, for some reason, didn't qualify. So I had nothing. So my only income was the occasional royalty payment that came in. So, but there we go. So I do understand people's frustrations. And
well, you had brought this up. Just a quick question. You brought this up on, I mean, if somebody who is coming out of the college circuit or the high school circuit,
yes,
and their passion, like myself, was in acting. I was actually wanting to do playwriting. I wrote a few plays. They were staged, and that was the last time I've written something. And then I was a theme park worker for quite some time, which is where all
Same
in
thing.
America, all the actors end
That
up
certain
in a
theme park was acting skills. It was teaching you.
No, but pushing a button and saying, please sit down, please sit down, please sit down. This is not necessarily an acting trait, but Simon, what would you say to somebody who's coming out into the field, diving in headfirst for the first time from their school? What kind of advice would you give them?
The advice is build a thick skin, because you're in an industry where rejection initially is high. But you must also appreciate that because you're getting a rejection doesn't mean you're bad. It just means other people have been chosen. And not your project has been chosen doesn't mean that your project was badly written or anything like that. It just means somebody else. We get it all the time. And I was very lucky after Doctor Who. For example, I didn't have to go and audition. I had a lovely period where people would just phone up and check with my agent my availability. And I can tell you, and I freely admit, that was wonderful. Because although I was fairly confident doing auditions, it was always a bit apprehensive. And I was very lucky that my hit rate was sort of 1 in 5, really. Mm-hmm. But since COVID, most of my contacts have either retired or died. So now the people that I have to make contacts with don't know me at all. And because I haven't been in EastEnders or Coronation Street, they don't know who I am. And so I'm having to start all over again, as if it were.
I know
and
that.
Now we've got the cursed self-tapes. which
How do you like those self-tapes?
The self-tapes are fine, but what you don't get, what you lose with a self-tape, is you haven't got somebody there saying things like, oh, that was very good, Simon. Could you do it again, but could you try this, that, or the other? Mm-hmm. So, I started doing self-tapes where I gave them different options automatically. I then got a message through my agent saying, it's making my file too big.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they only want you to do what you want, but you know, it's a lot. You know, you get a self-tape come through, and you spend time learning the lines as best you can. But you know, generally speaking, now you get 3 days to prepare before you have to send your self-tape in. But sometimes, you know, and it happened to me last week. It came in around 2:00, and it had to be in by 10 a.m. the following morning.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so
that's not.
And
no pressure.
So no pressure, right? So I did the best I can, and also they wanted some business done with it. Well, so it wasn't just dealing with learning the lines and delivering the lines, but they wanted some business doing with it. The character had to eat cake. Now, as it happens, people won't believe this. We rarely have cake in our house, but what we did have was some matchmakers. You know, do you get them in America? Matchmaker sticks.
No.
Anyway, so I use that. Anyway, so I did that. That was fine. There was an acknowledgement saying thank you very much for getting the tape in on time, blah, blah, blah. And then about 4 days later, my agent forwarded me an email from the casting director saying, please thank Simon for sending his tape in, but they've now decided that this role will be played by a supporting artist and not by an actor. And I did think, surely they could have come to that decision before asking me to do a self-tape. And it's not just me. They must have called, I would have thought, at least 5 or 6 others to do a self-tape. You know, so all those people have, you know, got themselves up and thinking an expectation, thinking, oh, it's a self-tape, excellent, this might be the one. So there we go. Anyway,
at least they sent something back.
That's my moan over, but I tell the story because there are some people, and I still get drama students contacting me because they think I'm a television star and I know everything. So I'm just saying, you know, it's the same for everyone. And the wonderful, wonderful Annette Badland. She is occasionally asked to do a self-tape. Now, in her situation, her pedigree is much higher than mine. And I think it's a bit of an insult to ask someone like Annette Badland to do a self-tape. But that's my personal opinion only. So I don't want it to get back to her that I was moaning on her behalf. But I'm just commenting. You know.
I'll bring her back.
The picture you put up there, I've been very lucky that I've done 2 or 3 jobs.
Is that Puppy Love?
No, this isn't Puppy. This is a series called Threesome. The number 3 SOME.
Gotcha.
And it was the main story was built around our son. So we're husband and wife there. And our son has a bit of an issue to go through. And there's a bit of a problem, and that over the breakfast table, our eyes meet and we hold hands.
Oh,
but I first met her. I don't know if you know, in the UK, there's a couple of comedians, Sue Perkins and Mel Gedroych, and Annette and I did their student film.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I first met Annette many, many, many years ago. So then I did the web series there. We then did a corporate video together, and we've just finished filming a pilot called Henry House. So, which is about, basically, it's set in a care home, and the care home, I run the care home with my wife, played by Annette. So it's wonderful. So that's in post-production at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So watch this space.
Yeah.
Well,
but Kristen, I was going to say we should run a quick commercial.
Yeah. Speaking of commercials, let me go ahead and throw this out so we can tell people. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Dave.
You go ahead. You go ahead. I would
because we got a lot to talk about, because we're going to talk more about the Hawk Chronicles, the adventures of Kate Hawk. I mean, this man is completely busy, and if you don't think he is not working his butt off, there is the No Name Game trivia. You can just ask Balti about that. We'll go into that just a little bit. And Simon has his own personal playlist over here, and it's only exclusively on the YouTube channel. Simon Says Sci-Fi Vlogs, and he just puts out when he can put out there, because I know he's busy doing his working and stuff. But we're very appreciative for any time that Simon gives his take on anything that's going on in the sci-fi world. And you can check out all those episodes here at the YouTube channel. So man's a busy man, so no doubt about that. Gotcha, Dave. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and run the commercials. When we return, we're going to continue our discussion with Simon Fisher-Becker, vlogging a dead horse. When we continue, please continue to stay logged on. Tuned in, and we'll be right back. Here we go.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Now, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
Hello, I'm Sadie Miller, and this is The Legend of the Travelling TARDIS.
And I think we're back. Woohoo! Woohoo! Well, with, of course, the one and only Simon Fisher-Becker.
Be
crazy. Be wonderful. We love you crazy, darling. We love it. You're fabulous. You're nuts. We love it.
He's going down the time tunnel.
Well, what is life if you can't be a bit nutty and crazy, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Good point.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at these pictures we've got.
After all, things that go on in life are nutty and crazy anyway.
True.
So true. So true. So I'm looking at the pictures that we've got kind of sitting aside, and I've got one that's labeled Lost Boys. This is, I'm going to assume not, because I haven't seen it in many, many years, not the American Vampire Show movie Lost Boys.
No, this was, we used to have a police series over here called Crime Watch, which published and all sorts of crimes. And if they were looking out for people, they would get little films together to say what the crime was about, and they would have actors play some of the characters. And in this one, it was rather a nasty story. It was people trafficking, but for young boys. And I can't remember the character's name I played, but I think it was Oliver something. And it's a long time ago. We're talking 1999, I think that was.
This reminds me of Unsolved Mysteries, like we had here.
Sort of, but it was more, have you seen these people? Can you help? And so people would then write in and say, yes, we saw somebody similar to that, last Thursday in a bookshop.
Also, kind of like America's Most Wanted too. It sounds like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little
There was-
combination of all.
Yeah, there was a series in the UK in the 60s and 70s called Police Take 5, and it was really literally a 5-minute section saying, "Have you seen this person? There was this incident. You know, you see at the end of your roads, fatal incident. Can you help ring this number?" It's a sort of filmic version of that.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Did they catch the person you were playing though?
Sorry?
Did they catch the person that you were playing?
Yes, because that was that section that you that section that you showed the picture of was my character having been interviewed in the police station, and they did get caught, and they did time, as they say.
Excellent.
Some people are chatting in the chat, which I think is funny. And Dan from The Last Man Standing on YouTube, Simon isn't wrong. The same questions come up constantly at the conventions. And I'm thinking to myself, Simon, what you should do is have all your books in front of you at the con. And whoever the question, when they ask you the same question over, I say, wait a minute, is your question before Doctor Who?
Yeah.
After Doctor Who? Is it now or is it?
Don't get me wrong, and I don't want people to be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, of course.
Right, yeah.
But, you know, trying to give the answer as if you've never had that question before can be a challenge. But then I think to myself, well, I'll just think I'm doing a play. Like, after all, if you do a stage play, you're doing 8 shows a week, are you not? You know, and so you have to deliver the same lines, you know, for 8 shows a week for 6 or 7 months. But no, it was really more of me saying, let's find a way of giving answers through another medium. Really.
Right.
But I love the conventions. I love doing the panels. I must admit, I do prefer the smaller conventions where you're allowed to have time to talk to the fans. Because there's some events I've been at that they're so, how can I put it? You're not even allowed to say hello. Stop talking, move on, sign, move on, you know.
Oh, I know those some. Yeah.
Yeah. And I find, you know, the fans pay a lot of money just to get in, let alone paying for autographs and things. And I you know, I am perfectly aware that I wouldn't be here on this show if it wasn't for the fans in the first place. And so the least I can do is turn up at events and give them a bit of time and say thank you. I used to joke because originally Dorium was just one scene with Alex Kingston in one episode. That was it. And then he was brought back. And then he was brought back a third time. And so I like to speak to the fans. And I used to joke, I want to look you in the eye and thank you for my new bathroom. But there you go.
It's not the only time that you've come back as Dorium, but in audio form as well.
Oh, I've been very lucky that that Big Finish have. I need to thank Gary Russell, who was a script editor on Doctor Who, but also he was a director for Big Finish. And I met him, it must be around 2012, at Galley. So that would have been the February. And in the April, he offered me a role in Iris Wildtime spin-off, played by the wonderful Katie Manning. Yeah, Katie Manning. So Gary gave me that, and then I became I think the science of I worked as somebody in the minister of science in Gallifrey 5, and then they got the wonderful Jenny spin-off. And in all three compilations, Dorium appears in at least one story. And the latest one that is out, I think it's the Saving Time one. The latest one is out. Dorium appears in 2 storylines. So
Ooh.
they only paid me for 1 day, though.
No. cheap whatevers. Since we can't say the word.
Again, you see, there's so many things, and I've had the good fortune to work with some very good actors purely because of my association with Doctor Who and Harry Potter to some extent, and to be working with people who were my heroes. I mean, I remember Katie Manning playing Jo Grant and watching her with John Pertwee. It's a rather crazy, and she's a wonderful, wonderful, crazy lady.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Christian's like
she is somewhat myopic. She won't mind me telling you this. You will find somewhere on YouTube, Katie Manning had, quote, borrowed my mobility scooter. And, and promptly ran into a stall.
No!
Yeah.
Oh, did the airbag go off?
And it's all on YouTube somewhere.
Okay, you know me. I got fine. Katie Manning crash, right?
And Simon, did your insurance rates go up after that?
But
So
also
Katie's.
the wonderful Ian McNeice, who played Churchill in Doctor Who, and also he's Bert Large in Doc Martin. He calls it my truck. Can I borrow your truck? And then so he borrows my truck to go off on a comfort break, but on his way back he travels the whole circuit of the convention, and you'll find him doing donuts. They're just fine examples of people who I used to watch and admire who've become very good friends.
So does this mean that we cannot leave actors unsupervised?
No.
Yes.
No.
That is exactly what that means.
No.
Never.
Is that why you guys have like the handlers at conventions to keep you guys out of mischief?
Can confirm.
Well, it is very funny. Yeah, I remember once I was on a book tour, going to bookshops, signing my Dalek books. And I got to one bookstore and it was pouring with rain. But to get into the store, you had to go up about 12 steps. They had built a ramp for me to get up. And at that time, I was being pushed in a wheelchair rather than having my own scooter. And it was very tight, 90 degrees turn. Anyway, we got to the top, which turned out to be the top step of the stairs. And then the person who was pushing me slipped. And when he slipped, he grabbed hold of my chair. And I ended up going backwards, somersaulting down the stairs. And I grabbed out for the rail. And of course, because it was raining, I just sort of slid down. And I did. I ended up face first into the thing. But these things happen. But also, I would use that as an example of people paying lip service to the fact that public buildings should be easily accessible. So, but that's for another conversation. So as a person with a disability, I perfectly understand the frustrations some people have. For example, you go to a door, it isn't automatic, so it doesn't open automatically for you. And then you find to open the door, you have to pull it towards you. So I have to reverse my scooter whilst holding the door handle. and then have to negotiate the scooter in through the doorway before the door closes on you.
You just need to get, like the cow scoops at the front of the old trains.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that, or a bulldozer front.
A battering ram. Just battering ram through it,
I mean, fortunately, now, if Tony's not available, I do manage to get one or two other people who accompany me to help with situations like that. But,
It seems like it got taken down.
Sorry?
I was looking for it. It looks like it got taken down.
Video, Katie.
Man.
Speaking of videos,
it was the result of a lawsuit between whoever owned them.
It looked like I said the 401 page not found and everything.
Big hole in the wall.
It was a settlement agreement.
Talking of Kate, that brings us back to the Hawk Chronicles.
Oh, yes.
And this is an example. I was approached by Steve Long, who writes and produces the Hawk Chronicles, one time, and asked me if I would be a guest artiste on one episode, and that was episode 103. And I've literally this morning had come through episode 295. So it's very good fun. It's a detective story set in space sometime in the future. And I play a character called Tony Simon, who is a sort of...
There was imagination put into that. No,
apparently, apparently it's just coincidence, but there we go. But so I play a pseudo MI6 officer who's
Double Simon.
Stuff, but it's very good. And if people just type in Hawk Chronicles when they're searching, you'll come up. There's a yellow page with all the episodes on it. They're blocked in series. But as I say, the first episode I was in is 103, and just about to record 295. And so all of those, I think only about 4 I've not done. Because my character wasn't in the storyline, but it's good fun, and it's like you mentioned before the ad break, the No Name Trivia Show, and I have to thank Joe, Joe McGrail Baitup. If on that photograph he's sort of centre with the red jacket and a beard. That's Joe. He's the main chappie. Again, he started it up with another friend of his, and Scott Rayburn, when lockdown started. And so for something to do, he started the No Name Trivia Show, and he just contacted me out of the blue and said, "Would you like to be in the show?" I said yes, and I've been involved with the show ever since. Because and so now I'm a co-host of it. Yeah,
speaking of co-hosts, there is Bolty himself. We call him Bolty, but you can see his picture right there. Simon's one of the most generous people that I know. His work with the community is second to none. Congratulations, Simon, on your 4th book.
Well,
and the plug in your book.
Plugging himself at the same time. Great characters. And there we go.
And you can go on Facebook and just look up the No Name Game Trivia. I actually put it in the chat. It's under the group. Let me see if I can find it. Just had it.
No Name Trivia Show.
No Name Trivia Show. They do live, and the points don't matter. All it is that you're having a great time, and you get to be with.
It's a blend of celebrity chat with trivia questions.
Oh, there we
and
go.
It's not Mastermind, but it is a hoot.
The only problem is I had to wake up at 3 a.m. just to
the Australian shows
No,
are
to be
painful.
honest, we are having a slight issue because there's certain people we would like to invite on. So I'm sort of trying to say to Joe, we have to change our time to accommodate those guests. But it's people have got used to our time, and the only time it becomes a problem is when we change the clocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think you must have the same situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly off. What, a 2-week difference, I think, between North America changing and the UK changing.
Yeah, the same in Australia. We tend to, in the UK, we tend to change the last week of October and the last week of March. Whereas I think
we used to do that in the US, and then in the
changed it.
about 10 years ago they started changing it, and I hate it because it.
Yeah, but there we go.
Timescale says I just ordered the audiobook version to listen to
Oh,
on the
wow.
plane to Japan. Thank you, Simon. Have a safe trip. Timescales over into Japan. On US Amazon, the paperback says out of print, limited availability, but the audiobook delivered.
It says out of print. All right, I'll have to look into that because Amazon print it to order, so I don't know how it can be out of print.
And
But,
speaking of plugs, there's Balti again. Question for Simon. Since being on the No Name Trivia show, who was the guest you most enjoyed interviewing, and who's your favorite co-host? Answer wisely.
I love all the co-hosts because they bring something different to the show. So I suppose Ian McNeice, because he's such a laugh.
Oh no, he's fun.
He's such a laugh, and he was on again recently because he contacted me. He says, "Isn't about time I was on the show again." But I've loved all the guests, and I'll tell you why. Because we've not just had well-known names, we've had very interesting people across different fields of interest, ranging from an estate agent to school teachers, scientists, magicians. It's a whole range of people. And I always say to Joe, if we find somebody who's sort of needs some sort of publicity, let's get them on. So and it's and especially if they're starting out, what they do with that publicity is up to them, but it's the opportunity has been given to them.
Exactly. I've managed to tune in once or twice, but it's again, time zones are a thing.
Yeah,
that
it can be a bit crazy. And Joe, one of his skills is if in conversation something is mentioned and brought up, he can very quickly find a clip of it. Although there was no mention we were going to show it on the show, he's very good at that. But sometimes we've been taken off air because of copyright.
Oh,
so,
what?
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah,
we've had a few of those.
Yeah,
you live and learn.
Yeah.
No, not with you.
I mean, we got demonetized for I don't know what for having
YouTube bots don't know.
YouTube knocked a couple of our episodes down using the P word and talking about a recent event that took place here in the United States. And I said, "There's not even the word P used in the show." I'm just like, so what are we learning? I don't just like it doesn't even say when it happened. It'll be like, well, you said it at hour 2:05. I'm just like, it doesn't even say it. Just says, please correct the issue. I'm like, okay, I'll be at that. I'll be right there.
I mean, I absolutely find censorship such a difficult thing to deal with. I accept censorship if it's very, very graphic. But I've had a couple of my vlogs taken down.
Right.
And with this statement that it may be offensive.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So-
Yeah, I love that one. I love that one. Yeah.
To one person, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But then it comes back the next day. But it's the word maybe that I find that deeply offensive, because to me that means there's been no complaint at all.
Mm-hmm.
But but somebody who's got a very tight sphincter has decided I might upset someone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, bring me the person who's upset, and I'll apologise to them, or at least explain to them why they are being silly.
I truly think they just have algorithms that are just brutal. They just,
They
you
don't
say
care.
a word or you say something.
It's done by
weird.
bots.
Yeah, but and I must admit, when it first happened, I got a bit uptight myself. How dare they, But now I could say the book that some people want banned, and the sales go up then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there we go.
That one.
Yeah.
Books don't want it banned.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the Zygons that wanted it to be banned. Maybe it's the Zygons.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Timescale says I had a YouTube video demonetized for copyright when it was the songwriter and a performer herself performing the song. It was a mess, and she had to contact her label. Yeah, we had commercial. Mackenzie had a commercial. The music, I mean, that was just a bad. I was just like, Mackenzie, we either have to change the music every single time that your commercial plays, or we can't run the commercial. It was ridiculous at some point.
And we had the same problem with the Worlds Apart commercial.
Worlds Apart commercial.
When we had Ashley Exton on, some of the promotional footage that she had provided to us. I've had to change my theme on my show because I have permission to use this music, but YouTube refuses to acknowledge that.
Some of my lives got taken off Gadget Vlogs, like my Gadget 0711 page and everything. Like they just were picking and choosing what they wanted to take off. And when you question them, they look at you like, well, this is what we got. And I'm like, I don't see anything there.
Or people doing live streaming and they're walking down the street and there's music playing in the background. It's insane.
That's
like even a wedding. You can't even put a wedding anymore because it's like the DJ, you're paying the DJ, so we're paying for that copyright,
Yeah.
The fun part about this is because if anything should happen, I can always pick up the phone and say, Simon, talk to Tony. I got flagged on you too.
That's
Tony made our theme song and our ending song. So
I had difficulty with one of the pictures. And I'm trying to remember which one. I think it was probably in. It wasn't in the Zygons, I don't think. A picture. Well, I referenced a philosopher called Occam, and there's this phrase Occam's razor, and so I wanted some sort of picture of him, and of course he's way back in the 12th, 13th century, so there's no photograph of him. So I contacted a friend of mine who's an artist and asked her if she could put something together. Got written permission from her to have it appear in the book, and still there was a bit of issue because I was being told that the picture I had offered wasn't done by her.
What?
Yeah.
It was a kind of drawing of Occam himself. He just kind of sketched it for himself.
Yeah.
So an AI did it?
Yeah.
I mean,
a few expletives later, it was also
yeah.
But
so how does you can bring that up in question now if they ever question you again, because now AI can make pictures now, and a lot of artists are getting upset with that and everything. Yeah. So you can argue that point with now these bots and everything. Yeah. That if you're gonna do this and allow this, let me have my picture.
I've seen some images that have been put together by AI, and I have to admit some of them are very beautiful. Mm-hmm. But I also think, well, it's doing an artist out of work.
Yep.
Yeah, because I do not understand this concept where we're not allowed to pay people.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, you said it.
I think I should step back, otherwise this could suddenly become a very political show.
Well, it brings up the concerns
Yes.
also someday of you being
Yep.
used as AI, your voice being used in AI.
Yeah, and
Your character.
what was the thing I often use the phrase to stop a conversation, because these people are some people they spout a mantra without having any intellectual ability to actually understand what they're saying. And I often say, oh, heaven forfend that we pay someone.
God forbid that someone wants to make an honest buck.
And they come back, yes, particularly we can't afford it. And then I say, yes, but for the system to work, people have to have money. If they don't have money, they can't buy the goods.
Speaking of Simon's voice, if you want to get Simon's voice or a video from Simon, he's on Cameo as Fisher-Becker 1.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh my God, yes, I forgot about Cameo.
Definitely, if you want something cool for the holidays, you can get the book. You can get Simon to say happy birthday or Merry Christmas or whatever on cameo.com/Fisher-Becker1.
Yeah.
You can say that right, or you can just check out Simon, peruse all the stuff,
Yes.
get his books.
And I'm very good value, you know.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
That's why we keep you on.
You're a good person with a good heart.
Yeah, no.
Hey, I could easily turn into a 10-hour conversation. Yeah, don't get me started on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave
Yeah.
you non-offensive comments if you maintain certain websites or links on the website. Gee, grief. Balti says you can't speak logic to illogical businesses. Well, you can't speak logic to an algorithm or somebody who's not watching over stuff. Dan Hollyfield, Stupid O'Clock is another YouTube project that he does. Has had copyright strikes from the Middle Eastern countries for opening with the USA national anthem and for the music I composed and performed.
This is the thing about cultural heritage. Like, different countries have different heritages. Honor each of the heritages if you're so wanting to be worldwide peace and everything. This is stupid. This is what like, what did the doctor say once they started speaking and understanding each other in that episode, that the TARDIS changed everything? That we all sounded like little kids once we started realizing that we speak the same. You know?
I like this idea. Timescales has got something here. This on Cameo,
Ooh.
and then you put everything. You can put the book and the audio autograph onto a playlist together, and there you go.
I'm very pleased. I know I'm not getting invites so much to events in America at the moment, but I'm quite happy to do a Zoom link at an event if they could manage it, and I'm quite happy to pre-record something to be screened. So please let people know.
I think it's
that gives an idea.
It's just harder and harder for I think when you the Doctor Who conventions that I've seen, they've just kind of gone all the way, and COVID kind of just put I think Gallifrey 1. It's kind of the only one out there, and there's Chicago TARDIS, and there's a few left out there, but for the most part, they're looking at New Who as opposed to Classic Who, even though you are part of New Who. It's just
But I'm constantly amazed because the first episode I was in was screened in 2010.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Been that long, God.
And so I'm constantly amazed that people are still interested in ask me to do something on Cameo or buying my books or just making content, for which I'm very grateful. Yeah. So,
Dave, did you put something in the picture thing?
I did.
Go ahead.
Zombie Maldovar.
Oh no.
That's it. We've been copyright strike. Thanks a bunch, Brent. I've been demonetized.
One thing, because I'm constantly being asked if Dorium is going to return, to the television Doctor Who. And I never know. But I was very chuffed. I think it was in the 60th anniversary lot that in the memory TARDIS, Dorium's box is there.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mel, I think it is when Mel is having her little funny twisty turn, she's sort of resting on the box.
Mm-hmm.
And I
they should have had your voice going.
I suddenly had yeah,
That would have been a good pun.
yeah. So that was nice. But
I'm trying to find something.
Dave, did you know that our Simon Fisher-Becker has been in a music video?
He's been in a music video.
He's been in a music video, and
tell.
Now I can't get the song out of my head. It's now been earwormed in there. Yeah. He was in Annie Lennox's "No More I Love Yous."
Yeah, absolutely fabulous time. Yes, and if we've got the time, I can tell you the story how I got the job.
Yeah,
I don't. So I'm going to break in here before you tell that story because
yes.
I do need to go.
Right.
So I want to just give one quick shout out once again to Zainab's Coffee House where I've been today. Again, if you're in Central Alberta, swing by, order some delicious samosas, raising funds for the Central Alberta United Way.
To be honest, I could do with going too, but I do offer if you want me to come back before Christmas, if it's in your schedules, I'd be more than happy to.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
you can come on anytime you want.
Exactly. You're a panelist here. You're part of the family. So
yeah. So
okay.
I know I do. I gas for the nation. So if it was an Olympic sport, I would have probably had 6 gold medals.
Well, let me go ahead.
And I was just going to say it's a great show, and I'm very pleased to be associated with it.
Thank you so much. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and just run this real fast since we've got Simon and Dave running off over there. Again, you can get the newest copy of Vlogging a Dead Horse. It is in the chats out there. You can also catch Simon on the adventures of Kate Hawk, the Hawk Chronicles. And you can also check him out over at the No Name Trivia Show. You can just go on Facebook and they go live. Just keep an eye on that. You subscribe or like their page, follow them, and they will tell you when they go live. And of course, you can check out Simon here at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS on our YouTube channel exclusively. Simon Says Sci-Fi Vlogs. When he drops them, it's 10 minutes of enjoyable entertainment and fun. Just listening to Simon talk. Again, you can also catch Simon on on his website to get all these books, including My Dalek Has a Puncture and Another Puncture, and the he's gone. I think he had to run. So, and also you can check out his cameo out there. So we want to thank Simon Fisher-Becker for coming on tonight. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and go.
I wanted him to throw to Tony. I'm sad now.
Yeah,
I know.
And I just sent the picture I wanted him to see from a certain thing where he covered McNeece's mic and everything, and I had just sent that to you guys.
Well, he said he's going to be back, and I'm sure he's going to be back next week. Dave's going to take over the TARDIS console, and he's going to be talking about games. You definitely want to check it out there. And don't forget to say goodnight to Rose at the end. So before we go, Dave, where can people find you?
So you can find me at therathole.ca online, or my YouTube channel is therathole DOTCA. We've got all sorts of reviews. We're about to come into our Christmas review series. We've been doing this. We're coming on 8 years of goodness. So please swing by, follow us. I would love to hit 250, 300 followers by the end of the year. I'm nowhere near as big on that channel as Christian is over here. But please swing by, and I'll see you next week talking about some great games.
Got it there. Michelle, where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook and Twitter, Michelle L. Hamilton, and Han Fregsberg on Amazon.
Got it. Gadget, where
And
can
also
people
the
find
Censphere.
Finish it.
Sorry, the Censphere is back. I'm also on the Censphere.
That's right.
What?
Yeah, Gadget, your turn. Sorry.
No, let her finish and everything is up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she's finished.
Okay. No, throw a stone, you find me anywhere and stuff. Facebook, Instagram, everything. Lulu.com for these guys and everything. Like I said, Christmas time is a little harder because of situations with family and stuff. So I might be at some conventions. I might not be. It depends on if I can get away, because I want people also to realize to be safe this holiday season too. And if you need to talk to anybody, please contact like a local, like a friend, anybody. You can contact certain hotlines and everything. Right now the number is escaping my head because I usually just hit a button on my phone and I get right to them and everything, because right now we need a little bit more kindness in the world, and even kindness with these guys. Like, one time kindness one time. I know I'm rambling right now and everything, but it's just that it's been hard with a lot of things, and most times friends can't see friends all the time, and don't dismiss them for anything. They might be working on things. They might be working like Simon, being busy a lot and everything and stuff, because we're making up for lost time, and just check in now and then on us, especially around this time.
Exactly. Gadget, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we have something at the end of the credit. So if people, if you do feel that, this can be very, very stressful time. If you need somebody to talk to, stay until the end of the show, the very, very end. You'll see we'll have that information provided. Thank you for everybody who subscribed to us. 41. We were almost there. Hey, but you know what? We are very appreciative of all 41,974 of you. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you for believing in us. We're going to go ahead and end the show. Don't forget, next week, Dave's going to be taking over and doing the games episode. Thank you so much for everybody. Don't forget to say goodnight on the way out to Rose. Tony, take us out. And I got to find it. There's so many pictures out here. So everybody say goodnight, Rose.
Good night, Rose.
We understand that this can be a very stressful time of year, and sometimes you just need somebody to reach out, to talk to vent, to just let things out there. Please, if you have to, please go to a neighbor, go to a friend, go to a significant other, go to a relative, whoever you have to. But for some reason you are unable to find somebody, let me recommend these folks out here. In the USA and Canada, you can text and call our friends at 988. And in the UK, you can go to Samaritans.org or go to 116123. Again, that's for the US, and our Canadian friends, text or type in 24 hours a day, and this is a free service, 988 in your phone. Or for our friends in the UK, Samaritans.org or 116123. And if you're anywhere around the world, please find some help. Find someone who can talk to you, please, because you are worth it. You are worth fighting for. And we want you to continue to be here every week to become part of the legend.